Good evening, everybody. Denise is ready and waiting. Hi, Denise. I'll give everybody a second to get caught up. And we are on it. We're on Facebook. Hi, Helen. Oh, it worked first time. What a bonus. So I'll wait for everybody to get logged in before we start looking at this. I am super excited about this new release. I can't tell you. So I'll just wait until everybody gets logged in before we start looking at everything. Hi, Kathleen. So obviously I am streaming on YouTube and on Facebook. So I'm flicking between the two places to see you all getting logged in. I am on time, which is always good. You can't see anything just yet, apart from my hands. Denise has had the fastest bath in history. Oh, bless you. So, hi, Joan. Hi, Susan. Hi, Wendy. Hi, Shell. Hi, Kathleen. So I'll let everybody get logged in. Hi, Bev. Hi, Debbie. Hi, Lee. Oh, the comments are coming quicker than I can keep up with. So just give it a second. What I'll do is I'll put, while we wait for everybody to get here, because I know that number's not right on Facebook. Hi, Patricia. Hi, Caroli. Hi to everybody I've not spoken to already. I'm just going to pop that there for a second, just to tease you a little bit. So I'm going to do this in reverse. So instead of showing you the new products, I'm going to show you two cards I've made already. Hi, Linda. Linda, where are you? I'm missing you at class. Get back to your classes. You've got no excuse. Hi, Alice. Hi, Judith. Hi, Christine. Hi to everybody that's getting logged in. So Facebook is clearly a little bit behind. Judy, no notifications. Hi, Trudy. Hi, Grace. Do you know what? I don't know whether you've all seen this, but Facebook has changed over the last few days. It happened on Saturday when I did my last live, and it's now changed my pages, and unless I get used to it, but at the minute I don't think it's a change for the better. It's made everything really awkward to get to, so things are not as easy to find as they were before. But you know what it's like, we don't like change. Hi, Evelyn. Hi, Sue. Hi, Sandy. So obviously people, I'm just going to refresh my page. Oh, here it is. That's more like it. So Facebook hadn't actually started. I've had to do it for it. Hi, Valerie. Yeah, so sometimes change is good. Sometimes it takes a while to get used to. I'm sure we'll all get used to it. We've got no choice. Hi, Lona. So I'm just going to pop this little card here, and I'm going to do, like I say, I'm going to do this in reverse. So I'm so excited about this release. I hope you like it. It's something a little bit different. It's an add-on to the Flawless Media range. So this is a new product. I've not done it before. I've done something similar, but not the same. And I'm going to show you the samples that I've made first. So I'm going to show you two cards that I've made. So I'm just going to take the sneaky peek off, and I'll let you just have a little look at this card, and then I'm going to bring it in, and I'm going to show you all the detail that's in this card. I'm going to show you two cards that I've made, and then I'm going to show you the new products. I have got a drink, Di. Do you know what, Di? You know, since I got back from Italy, I just cannot get warm, and I've even got a bit of cold. Now, hi, Claire. Hi, Angela. Hi, Avril. Hi, Jackie. So hi to everybody I've not spoken to already. Yeah, so I've not been able to get warm, and I've got a bit of a cold, but hey ho, we're not going to go into that. So I'm going to bring this card, Angela. You'll be impressed because this is a 7x7, and I keep looking at this card, thinking I need to pop it on an 8x8 card blank. I feel like it's too small, but it just shows you that what I'm going to show you does. It doesn't matter what size card you make. So I'm going to bring this card in. So you can obviously see that I've used something new to colour in the layer, to colour in the flowers, to colour in the grey board. You know me well enough to know that the everything on here apart from the dyes is new. Yeah, I do need my thermals, you're absolutely right, Di. And if truth be known, Di, I've been looking at other holidays. I was going to book one for October until I realised it was the Craftathon dates. So I'm just going to bring that in close so you can see that as well. So that is one of the samples. I'm going to pop that to one side and I'm going to bring in my other one. I'm just going to flick over to YouTube and see what everybody's saying to me on YouTube, so I'm not ignoring anybody. Ilona loves this. Hi, Roz. Right, so this is my other sample that I've made. And I'm not going to lie to you, they weren't quick cards, but Pam's just saying on YouTube she can't get onto Facebook at all, so glad you've not missed it. Okay, it is cold, Judy, you're right. So I'm going to bring this one in close so you can see again that the background layer and the dye, the trellis dye and the splats and the banner and the grey board have all been coloured in with this new product, and I absolutely love it. So these flowers are just plain old white cardstock coloured in with this new product. So I'm going to pop them to one side. I absolutely love it, and the first thing I'm going to say to you is, even if you're not into, I'm not even going to say mixed media because it isn't, even if you're not into, if you want to bridge that gap between what you would normally do and the more decorative, like painting your embellishments, painting your flowers, painting your die cuts, and obviously making the layers in the background of your card match perfectly, this product is for you. So I'm going to pop this to one side. There are actually 22. I'm just going to move those out of the way. There are 22 new products tonight, yeah, and I love every single one of them. So here we go. When can you get your hands on these? You've not even seen them, Di. So here we go. So I'm going to start from the new chalky acrylic paints. So you can't see anything in here just yet. You all know me well enough to know that my absolute favourite ever finish is chalky. You all know this. So the fact that I've now got something that will give you a chalky finish, and you can use it on card, and you can use it on glass, and you can use it on MDF, grey board, acetate, absolutely any surface you're going to be able to use these paints on. So I'm going to take them out and show you the colours, because the colours are stunning. Stunning, stunning, stunning. So before I show you the colours then, Di has already asked me over on Facebook when you can get a hold of these. So there are 15 of the chalk paints. So these are the chalky acrylic paints. There are 15 colours which are being released, and this is something that I've wanted to do for a long time, as you know. You can use it on any surface: wood, MDF, grey board, glass, acetate, whatever you want to put this on. Mirrors, you can put it on mirrors. You can put it on whatever you want to put it on. But more importantly for us as card makers, you can use it on cardstock, and it doesn't warp them or anything like that. So you've got here, this one is the African Violet. I'm going to show you all the colours. I'm going to flip them upside down and let you see these colours, because they're just absolutely stunning. And I love them so much. So what I'll do is I'll bring so many at a time in and show you the colours. So see if I can do 6 at a time. I'm not going to tell you all the colour names because you'll be bored to tears, but you can see already the colours. I have done some little palettes So I'm going to show you those in a second, because these will be available on my website Saturday morning, and I'm obviously launching these on Create and Craft on Saturday at 5 p.m. and 8 p.m. So the discounts, as ever, because it's all changed, so the discounts on my website won't kick in until 9 p.m. on Saturday night. I've given no discount on TV, so there's no discount on TV unless you're a club member, which is the discount that they give you. Oops, there you go. I'll just show you these colours, and then I'm going to show you the boards. I'm trying not to leave them tipped up. Let me show you the consistency as well, because the consistency is just fabulous. Look at that colour. I'm actually using that one tonight. That one is minty fresh. And then 3 more colours. Hi Irene, hi to everybody I've not spoken to already. 3 more colours. So 15 altogether. And I am using tonight these 2 together. So I'm going to make a card with these, and this is Pacific Coral and Minty Fresh. And I just thought they look really beautiful together. So Pacific Coral and Minty Fresh. I'm going to put those back in my tub because we've not done yet. So we've got 15 paints, 15 brand new chalky finish paints. Chalky finish paints that you can mix with your texture medium. You can mix them with my metallic paints. You can mix them with the new gritty texture medium. Hi Elaine. Sorry, I'm just catching up with everybody on Facebook. Let me just flick over to YouTube. So gritty texture medium, this is amazing. You have to get a bottle of this gritty texture medium. It is so super fine. So one of the things that I was conscious of when we were doing this is that we don't all want, no Bev, these are more expensive. These are £4 a pop. So each set of 5 is 20 quid. These are a little bit more expensive. However, if you're collecting the metallic paints, you need to be collecting them now, because they will also be £4 soon. Obviously everything had increases, raw materials, etc. So the chalky paints are £4 a pot, and the metallics are currently £3.50, but they will all be £4, I think, in the next week or 2. So gritty texture medium. So this is not I'm going to try and show you. In fact, you can barely see. Let me see if I can get a decent picture on that. You can barely see the texture in there because it is so fine. So what that means for us is, if you struggle with stencils, Julia made this point to me earlier, if you struggle with normal texture paste through a stencil, go for the gritty, because it's hardly gritty at all. It's just a little bit of texture. But because it's a thicker consistency, as you can see, it goes through stencils like an absolute dream. And more importantly, you can now change the colour of this with that. So you can mix this and change the colour of the actual paste, or use it as it is. And I'm just going to bring this card in again. So this texture here is actually just a gritty texture medium, just stippled on and left. That is its natural colour, which is like an off-white, which personally I quite like. I quite like that colour. But then what is the point in having all these lovely paints? Although are those the ones you were painting a flower with earlier? Possibly. Well, that was going to help you, Denise. The gritty texture medium. So what's the point in having all these lovely, lovely new chalk paints if we haven't got anything to paint? Is the gritty paste translucent? No, it isn't. This is so hot off the press that even the design team have not had theirs yet. There's only me. There's only me that's got any of this. But I will make sure you all get some next week, DT, so don't panic. No, it isn't translucent. It dries this colour it dries off white. So the purpose of that texture medium, is so that, I'll show you in a minute, I'm getting too giddy. I'm getting ahead of myself. Let me get a drink. Right, so what is the point in having all these lovely new paints if we haven't got anything to paint onto? So we've now got 6 new, that's how good they are, 6 new grey board sheets. And I can't tell you how fabulous these are. Love them, love these to bits. Love them. In fact, I love them so much, I might even make some of them into dies. So 6 new grey board sheets that are absolutely packed. A5, good quality grey board as you would expect from me. These will be on the website as individuals, but they are on TV in sets of 3. So that one here is what I've used here, look. And if I bring that in really closely, can you see the texture on the frame? The texture on the clock? And the texture on the fleur-de-lis? So that texture is from the gritty paste with the chalk paints painted over it. So that is one of these. And then you've got this one, which is, I think, going to be one of my favourites of the grey board sets. So this one is actually all little frames. And again, I regret doing it in grey board because I could have made some of these into little dies. But I might do at some point. So what you've got here, I haven't just given you a set of 9 frames. You've actually got 3 times that because you've got little borders. And these are perfect for your sentiments. You can stamp on top of, yeah, Bev's saying that as well on YouTube, make the frames into dies. Listen to my voice. You can stamp onto the chalk paints as well, which I'm going to show you. Then you've got the obligatory clocks. And you can see there you've got the fleur-de-lis in there, which is what I used on that card just there. I've had to do some more cogs and gears because we've got none of the others left. So this is a new set. So there are a couple of new things on this one that aren't on the 8x8 one. Yeah. So you imagine these with that gritty texture medium and then painted over to make it look rusty. Now I promise you, next week I am spending the day on Monday doing some videos for YouTube. So please make sure you've subscribed to my YouTube channel if you haven't already. Just go on YouTube. There are loads of links on the Sentimentally Yours Facebook page. But if you've not seen them, just go on YouTube and search for Crafting with Phill Martin and Sentimentally Yours. And subscribe to my channel because these videos that I'm doing next week will be posted on YouTube, not on Facebook. Oh, look, they're falling out, look. Then you've got what I've called tatty tickets. And I'm using these tonight. So tatty, I'll say that again. Tatty tickets. Again, some with the inner, some with the outer, some with the inner, all different shapes. They're all a little bit shabby. And then you've got a couple that are solid. Great for your sentiment stamping. And I am using that tonight. And then this frame here, let me just put it on top so it doesn't all fall out. So this frame here is the one that I used on this card. So you can see I've actually used the two frames, the smaller. I've actually used the whole thing. So the larger frame, the inner, and then the small frame, which is what I've done on there. Yeah. So 6 brand new grey board sheets, and I can't tell you how much I love these. I love grey board anyway, and I told you ages and ages ago that we were going to have lots of new grey board this year, and I am going to introduce 6 at a time constantly. I've done loads, and I think from a crafting point of view, from a versatility point of view, there is so much you can do with these, and they don't add weight to your cards. that keeps falling out. Some of these are really, really delicate, and if I'm honest with you, I've struggled to get this one out without snipping it. But it doesn't matter because you're going to paint over it, so it really doesn't matter. So let's pop those out of the way. And now I'm going to show you what I've done ahead of time. I'm not going to go through everything that I'm using tonight like I usually do, because a lot of it you can't actually order until Saturday anyway. So you can, everybody's laughing at Tatty. Never used grey board before. Oh, Elaine, you need to. It's so easy to use and lightweight. It doesn't put weight on your cards. So I'm going to bring in what I've started to prep for tonight. Yeah. So I've done a few things ahead of time just because I needed them to dry. So I'm just going to show you again. Let me just bring that grey board in. I really couldn't get any more in these sheets. You can see that. There's literally no space for me to get anything else in these. So on this card for tonight, I'm using that oval. And I'm using the long border. And I'm going to snip that down once I've painted it. And also in the butterfly frame, we've got the treble clef, which I love. And I have also got a clock to the side, which I'm going to paint and show you. So first things first, let's bring this in and show you. So I've done this ahead of time. So this is what the gritty texture medium looks like if you put it on and leave it to dry. So the gritty medium takes about, well, depending on how thick you apply it, it takes about half an hour to set properly. And I love the fact that I can now add all this shabby chic texture without losing any of the design. I've even done it on this super fine border, look. Oops, let me get the camera to focus. There you go. So I've even done it on this super fine little border. Yeah. So there are two ways you can actually do this. You could, if you wanted to, mix some of the gritty texture medium with some of your chalk paint and just mix it on your mat and stipple it on, and then you will change the colour. You'll change the colour of the gritty texture medium. However, I didn't do that because I'm going to end up wasting my paint. So I've actually put the texture medium on first and I'm going to paint on top of it. Before I do that, I'm going to give you a few tips. And I'm going to do this clock. And I did have a clock to one side. So these are the bits that are left over from what I've been using for my samples, look. So I'm gonna do one of these clocks with the gritty texture medium just to show you how to do it. Yeah, Julia's just mentioned on Facebook that Julia is going to do it. Julia's done loads with these already. So Julia's going to be doing a Facebook, YouTube live on Saturday morning at 11 o'clock. Obviously, I can't do the one on Saturday because I will be heading off to the studio. Hi, Susan on YouTube, Facebook even. So let's get back. Grey board adds another dimension. Yeah, absolutely. And it's so light. But I'm just trying to... Anne's just kicked a neighbour out. What a shame. They come separate. So Bev's just asking me if the grey board come as a set of 6 or separate. They come separately. So on TV they're in sets of 3, but on my website they'll be individual, so you can get whichever ones you want. So Bev's saying she probably wouldn't use the clocks and the cogs. I know you will. But I actually use the cogs and the clocks a lot. So it's just personal preference. This is why I've done 6 different designs. So top tips. So the best way I've found to apply this, and you all need to get yourselves, remember, cut and dry foam. We've not used it for ages, so treat yourself to a packet of cut and dry foam. And you can see this is the one that I've been using already. Now, had I have washed that out before I left it to dry, I would be able to reuse this piece of foam, but I haven't. I've let it dry out, so I'm going to chop that bit off and chuck it. I'm chucking it. This is going to last for ages. I'm actually only going to use what's in the lid. So cut and dry foam, if you haven't got any, if you haven't got any, get on the website and treat yourself to some now. Because you know what's going to happen. As soon as I use it on TV on Saturday, we're going to sell out. So I'm going to use the bit that's in the lid. Don't waste it and put it on your mat. You don't need to. So just put a little bit on your... That's far too much. Yeah. And I'm literally just going to tap it around. And this is how easy this is to do. This is why I love this product. I'm literally just tapping it on. Put it down and do it so I can do it a little bit quicker. I'm doing this clock because I am going to use this on another sample on TV. So I'm stippling this on. The texture in it is really, really fine. So don't be put off thinking, because I've called it gritty, it's actually not. I should have called it sandy, because it's more like a fine sandpaper. So I'm just stippling this on. Just get a bit more out. I think I'm being a bit tight. That's better. So this now gives us a raised, textured, gritty, like a vintage base in which to paint over the top of. In fact, that's probably enough. So I'm going to put that to one side. I should actually clean it, but I'm not. And I'm just going to grab my spatula. So I've now got all the base texture on this. Oh, come on camera. There we go. So you can see we've got some base texture. But I want some higher peaks on this. Cheap makeup sponges from the pound shop. I don't go in makeup sponges in. I'll send you, Bev. So I'm just going to put a little bit on my spatula, look. And I'm going to raise some of these areas even more. Because we can. And it all adds to the overall effect. It's vintage, it's shabby chic, but it's easy. It's the gap between being scared of all the mixed media techniques that you see everywhere, thinking, oh, I could never do that. Well, now you can. I've made it really easy for you. The chalk paints are going to transform your life. And the fact that you can use them, there you go, look. The fact that you can use these chalk paints on cardstock is just amazing. So I'll just clean my spatula off. You'll be pleased to know I've changed the water in my paint pot. It's now clean. So now I would just leave that to dry, and that would, like I say, if it's not too thick, it takes about half an hour. It takes about half an hour to dry. So I'm just going to pop that out of the way because I'm not using that tonight. Oops. And I'll let that dry. The other bonus is it doesn't warp your cardstock and everything either. So this is what I've got ready for tonight. These are the bits I've got ready for tonight to make a card with. So that is obviously the trellis die. That's the leftover waste from the that's the waste from the other card that I made from the trellis die, and it actually fits quite nicely behind that oval frame look, so I'm going to use that. And these keys, let me just show you this. These keys are white cardstock with the gritty texture medium over the top, and I am going to paint those as well. And if I show you this look, let me just get them both so I can show you. Oops. Oops. No warping. They're absolutely perfect, which I just think is amazing for a water-based product. And I've also got one of the Finnabair molds from last time, the pocket watchers. So when we used the pocket watchers last week and I did the extra ones to show you, we're going to paint this as well. So I'm going to start with my card layers. So this is the top. And then this one here I'm going to colour in with the paints. I'm going to come to that in a minute. The chalk paint dries really quickly, So if you're painting the chalk paints onto cardstock, it dries 2 minutes max. If you're painting it onto grey board or MDF, 2 minutes maximum. If you put it on really thick, I forgot to show you these, didn't I? If you put it on really thick, it takes longer. So these are the sets of 5 that are on TV. I've painstakingly done these boards myself. Look at it on black card. Oh, it's exactly the same on black card or white card. So they're in sets of 5 on TV, or you can obviously go for the ones that you like. So that is the one that I've called Delicate Hues. So that's 5. This is what I've called Warm Hues. So you can see the names like Ocean Teal, Custard Slice, African Violet, Minty Fresh and Pacific Coral. And it's these 2 I'm using tonight. And then we've got the Rich Hues, which I absolutely love the Rich Hues. So we've got the Oxford Blues, Roses Are Red, Dreamy Chocolate, Perfectly Pumpkin and obviously Olive, which look how fab they are on dark cardstock. Oh, amazing. So I forgot to show you them, so I've done it. So I'm going to get a drink and we're going to get some work done. These paints will last you for ages, assuming you don't use them like I do, because you use so little. So we're going to take this piece of card and we're going to change the edge of it using the 2 paints, and I'm going to stipple these on. So I've got a couple of little stippling brushes. You don't actually have to use stippling brushes. My swatches aren't as posh as Phill, as Julie has just said. Yeah, but they took me ages to do. So I'm using a couple of little stipple brushes so that I can get extra texture. Important thing to remember is these paints also, if you apply them thinly, I'm just going to roll my sleeves up. If you apply them thinly, they are self-leveling as well. So on cardstock, which is what I'm going to do now, they will dry flat, which I just think is fabulous. If you apply them thick, you can also get texture from them as well. So I'm going to go in with the dark colour, the darkest colour. I mean, neither of these are dark, but I'm going to go in with the Pacific Coral and I'm going to use what's in the lid, same as I always do with paints, and I'm going to do all the coral work first. So everything that's going to be painted coral, I'm going to do in one go, just to save a bit of time, because I don't want us to be on here forever. Nice brushes, where can you get them, Phill? I think, do you know what, I've had these for donkey's years. Look, can't you tell by the state of them? I don't know, I'll see if I can get hold of these, Elaine. I'll see if I can get hold of these. So these are absolutely battered. They used to be flat. And I'm literally just going to stipple some of this around the edge. So I'm going to leave gaps. So where the gaps are, I'm going to go in with the other colour, the Minty Fresh. I mean, look at that colour is just stunning. So stippling rather than brushing on just gives you an extra bit of texture. So I'm making sure all my corners are coral, just because I'm a bit OCD and I need it all to match. So I would let this dry before I go in with the second colour. Not because it will contaminate your brushes or anything, but because it will contaminate your paint pot. Keep dipping in different colours, and you don't want to do that. You just do a little bit more down here, and I think that is enough of that. And I'm just going to bring that in and show you, because already, can you see already this is nearly dry? That is nearly dry, and it hasn't warped my cardstock at all. Amazing. So I'll move that to one side. We'll do all the coral in one go. So I'm going to come to the frame now. I would normally do each section at a time. Not to worry, Chris. I would normally do each section at a time and then come back to it. But it really doesn't matter. I'm just doing this to save time tonight. So I'm now going to stipple some of this coral. This looks amazing. I've stippled some of this coral onto the areas where on the frames on the grey board where I have used the texture medium. This is so easy. Anybody can do this. I mean, that looks fabulous already. And then I'm going to do the same with the treble clef because I am having two colours. Coordinating, you know what I'm like. So remember, if you wanted to create a coral gritty paste, you absolutely can do that just by mixing the two products together on your mat. I'm going to do the keys, but I'm going to do the keys. One will be coral and one will be minty fresh, and I'll bring these in and show you in a second because that looks absolutely fabulous. Where are my tweezers? That looks amazing already. Just with the coral, I've missed a bit there. That's fabulous. That texture really makes them look vintage and aged without actually doing anything. So that's that. I need to do the fray, the little border. Karen's late to the party. Oh, do you know what, Karen? Everybody said the same to me, that they're not getting notifications when I go live. I will do a little recap at the end, Karen, so don't worry. It's really frustrating. I don't know what's happened to Facebook. Mind you, YouTube should have notified you as well. So again, I'm just leaving sections empty. I'm just getting a little bit more paint. I am leaving sections of this empty because I do want some white bits showing when I've finished as well. And now we're going to get onto the absolute game changer for me. That, let me just show you, look, that is already bone dry. Already. So the game changer for me is the fact that I can now use a chalk paint onto cardstock and I can colour all my flowers. And there's just a couple in here. I'm not going to do them. I can now colour all my flowers to match perfectly what I'm doing with my cardstock. It's just amazing. And I am going to brush this on rather than... oh no, I won't. I'll just stipple it just to be quicker. Are you ready for this? This is fabulous. Look at the colour intensity on these paints. These are artist quality, as you would expect, paints. And I'm colouring the whole thing. And these will be dry by the time we're finished with the second colour. This is amazing. I am so happy with these paints. And Jean, if you're watching on Facebook still, Jean wanted a peach colour. Well, you've actually got two now, Chuck. You can use this coral. Remember, it dries a touch lighter. Or you could use the Barely Peach, which is in the paler set. I've purposefully not done any of this ahead because I wanted you to see how I did it. There's no point me showing you finished results when I need to teach you how to use them. Just a little word of advice as well. If I'd have done this on a sheet of paper, I could have used the paper afterwards to die cut from, but you know me and kitchen roll. I love my kitchen roll. Is that enough peach flowers? I'll just do one more little one in coral. And I'm just going to show you these first flowers. I missed a bit there. I think I'm not done with the peach. I'm nearly done. That flower there is dry. That flower is bone dry, and you can see all the texture from my debossed lines on the dies, which I just think is an absolute amazing thing. Amazing. So let's just pop these out of the way. In fact, I'll leave them on there. I'm just going to make sure they're not sticking to the kitchen roll, because I've done that. Yep, we're all right. I'll leave the peach things on there. Just leave them to one side. And we will change that. And we will start on the other colour, which is Minty Fresh. So this colour is absolutely beautiful. Minty Fresh. It's like a aqua minty colour. I've got loads to do yet, so let me crack on. So I'm using another brush. I'm not going to contaminate them. They're just there for later on. In fact, I'm going to get another sheet of kitchen roll because I've got glitter on that. I don't want glitter in my paints. And here we go. Doesn't take long. I know it looks like I'm doing a lot, but I am. I've left it purposefully for you. So I'll do the flowers first, and then we'll go to the frame. Look at this colour. Gorgeous. I forgot to tell you as well, you can colour with these as well. You can water this down and paint and colour images in with it. So you can colour stamped images in with it. In fact, I was at the shop yesterday doing a class, and I actually stamped some of the floral curios. I was going to colour them in while I was at class, but I never got time. So I'll do that as one of the videos next week. So Minty Fresh. How long have I been? I don't think I've been too long, have I? 3/4 of an hour. Yeah, probably be about the same till we finished. So I did think I'd be about an hour and a half. Let's see if it works out that way. I've got more time on these live demos to show you things than I have when I'm on TV, which is why I like doing them for you. Incidentally, just while I'm doing the repetitive bit of painting these, please remember, if you're on Facebook, please, it's changed. Facebook's changed. I mentioned it earlier. So I need you to make sure that you've liked and followed it, because I've had a few messages from people who have told me that their settings had been changed by Facebook, which is a bit naughty. So just double check that you've liked and or followed the Sentimentally Yours Facebook page. Don't forget, you can also join our lovely little crafters group on Facebook. And if you are in our group, we're back to Freebie Friday tomorrow. I've got it all ready for you. So every Friday in my Facebook group, I do a Friday freebie or Freebie Friday, where I give things away. But you do have to be a member in our group for that. So you have to ask to join our group. It's not a public group. So just search on Facebook for Crafting with Phill Martin and Sentimentally Yours. Ask to join the group. I'll check that you're a genuine crafter, and then I'll let you in. If you're not a genuine crafter, you're not coming in. So look at that beautiful colour. So I'm just making sure they're not stuck to to the kitchen roll because obviously I've used the wet stuff on it. Look at that colour. Isn't that beautiful? And they will be dry in less than a minute. Obviously the more paint you put on, the longer it will take to dry. That's just common sense. So let's just pop that to that side. And I'm going to go into my frames now and make these match. So now this coral paint has dried, I can go over it with the Minty Fresh. So I'm just going to do a little bit where it overlaps. I'm going to fill a few little areas in where it's white. I'm not covering it all because I don't want to, there's no point in putting it on if you're going to cover it all. So I'm kind of making a motley effect. Those colours are lovely together. Aren't they just beautiful together? So that is the Minty Fresh. I've got to do the border. It's nice to overlap a little bit, covers your joins up as well. But don't cover the whole thing in. And this lovely long border here, I am going to chop that down when I get to that stage. And then I've got my treble clef. These remind me of like summery colours. And they're just very, very pretty. So we've got one last job to do on with the paints. Oops. And that is the trellis. So remember I mentioned to you that the trellis, this part that I'm using here is what's left from the die cut that I did earlier. And the oval is going to go behind the oval. So I'm going to show you how to do that. So I know I need to go, I wonder if I should do it the other way. Well, that's nice for a change, look. Let's do it that way on. So I'm now going to colour this die cut. And I think for me, the fact that I can now transform pieces of card that have been die cut just with a couple of colours of paint, it just makes it fabulous. I'm going to go in with the coral first again. I'll do too much of this, but I'd rather do too much of it than not enough. So that's the coral. And whilst I've got the coral paint out, just make sure I've not missed anything. No. So whilst I've got the coral paint, no, I'll use the other one. No, I'll do it with coral. But I'm going to change the brush. So this is one of the tatty tickets. And I'm going to use this to pop the sentiment on. But I don't want to stipple it, so I'm going to put this on with a brush. So if you paint on with a brush, you'll get a smoother finish. That just makes sense. That's just common sense. So I'm painting that on with a flat brush. Oh, too much paint. So I'm putting that on with a flat brush, and when this dries it will be perfectly smooth, and it will obviously coordinate with the rest of the project. I'm not going to worry about the edges. Yeah, and I'll be able to stamp my sentiment on top of that. So the brushes are in the water pot. Don't let the paint dry on your brushes because it's an absolute mare. Although it's water based, it is a mare to clean your brushes afterwards. So I'm going to flip that over, pop the lid on the Pacific Coral, and we're going to go in now with the Minty Fresh. So I'm leaving some white bits. I want some white bits showing. So I'm not covering the, well, I say I'm not covering the whole thing, I've covered a load of it. Look how it changes, it just changes it, it's fabulous. Let me try and get a piece of white card to show you that. Look, ain't that beautiful? So just finish that off. And then I'll leave that to dry. So we're now nearly at the stage where everything that I want to paint is painted. But one other thing that you can do with these that I know you're going to love, we can do a watery background with these as well. Oops, I forgot this. Nobody reminded me. So it's a good job I didn't clean my brush. So I'm doing a little bit of overlap. So we get a lovely motley effect. Filling in the white spaces with the Minty Fresh. Just do some light bits over the coral. Colour's beautiful. Obviously, common sense will tell you that the paler colours, if you're going on grey board or MDF, the paler colours you might need to do 2 coats. I actually haven't had to do 2 coats on anything that I've done yet, but I do know I haven't used MDF, and MDF does absorb chalk paints really quickly. So I would either prime it with the gesso first or be prepared to put 2 coats on. But you can see how little I've used of this already. So just a little bit overlapping, heavier in the gaps. And that looks fabulous to me. And that colour is already drying. So I'll put that to one side, let that dry. And I'm just checking I'm on the right piece, and I am. So on this piece, which is where we're going to be making the actual card, I want to do a little, let me get a drink, I want to do a little watery background on this. No, absolutely not, Karen. Karen's just asking on YouTube if it's better to use a proper brush cleaner other than just water. No, Karen, just do it with water. Even if it dries, if you run it under hot water, it will clean. You've just got to roughen the bristles up. But this is what I do, look. I just chuck them in my paint pot so it doesn't have a chance to dry up. And then when I've finished the live tonight, I'll just take these in and clean them properly. So now what we're going to do is a little watery background on this, and you do it in exactly the same way. Look at that colour now. You do it in exactly the same way as you would do with anything else. So I'm going to put some of the paint on here. I'll put a little bit more of the Minty Fresh because it is paler. Spritz it with water. And the difference between this and the watercolour blending brush pens and obviously the metallic paints is that this will give us a lovely chalky soft finish. Oh, that's fab. I'll go over everywhere. Just add a bit more water. Oh, look at that colour. I'm not going to put any more on. Look at that colour. Fabulous. And we'll wipe that up. And then I'll do a little bit with the coral. So this is the first time you've... Oh, Oh, that's my dirty finger. Oh. I'm just covering up my dirty finger mark down. Actually, it looks quite nice. I'm just adding some covering dirty finger marks up. So pop that to one side, and then we'll repeat that process with the coral, and we are getting somewhere. It is like eggshell, you're absolutely right. This is probably why I'm drawn to these, because eggshell is my absolute favourite finish on paints. Yeah. Hey, what's going on Facebook? They're all having a drinking party. Yeah, thanks, Di. Reminded me to get a drink. They're all having G&T, whiskey and lemonade, and I've got a coffee. So the difference, look, let me just show you this now it's drying, is that lovely, soft, chalky finish that we're getting. So let me just do some coral. And of course I put the brush in the pot, didn't I? So coral is a stronger colour, so I'm going to dilute it a little bit more. So that's probably enough. I'm going to leave the brush here just in case I need to go back in. It's a beautiful colour. I can't tell you how lovely this coral colour is. It's like it's almost like an apricot peach, so stronger than the delicate peach. Oh yes, I'm going to water that down even more. So I'm just water that even more. That's how much pigment there is in these paints. Oh, fabulous. Fabulous. Come on, let's have some drips. That's lovely. So obviously it's going to be softer when it dries. So let's chuck that in the drying box. So that card is actually quite wet now, so it's probably going to take longer to dry than the rest. But that's fine. We've got flowers to do. We've got stamping to do. I should have done that first. Right, so here we go. Let's come back to the frame and the trellis. So I can either go that way or that way. The frame's going to be portrait. Doesn't that look lovely? And I'm just going to show you one more thing, because I'm getting carried away now. One more thing. So with your gesso, you can actually do some highlights. And now I've done that, I should have done it with everything else. Oh, that looks lovely. I love this stuff. I love this stuff, even if it's all on my fingers. Now, where would you be if you were a wet wipe? You wouldn't be far away from my finger, I know that much. So with your metallic paints, you can highlight. With your gesso, you can highlight. If you did a black base, so if you painted everything with black before you use the paints, you would get a different effect again. So many different mediums and finishes you're going to be able to get with these. Right. I'm clean enough. Clean enough. So I'm going to pop the frame on. Right, so I'm tormenting myself. I'm doing it normal. I'm doing it the normal way. So this is how I did this on both of my cards. So the lattice that's in the background on this card, look, if I bring that in and show you, you can see it's exactly the same thing as what I'm going to do now. So you just put a little bit of glue around, just around the frame part itself, not the fancy part. And then I'm going to just pat off the excess. And then pop that in position. You could, if you were really clever, let's try and get that lined up. If you were really clever, you could draw around the inside and cut it out. But I prefer to do it this way. So I'm now holding that until the glue grabs, and by holding it and letting the glue grab, what's happening is it's keeping the trellis flat. So it's not giving the cardstock chance to shrink with the glue. So it's keeping it flat, because nobody wants a wonky trellis, because it just isn't right. Right, so that should now be stuck enough for me to take my little scissors, and I'm now going to take my little scissors, look, and just snip around the inside of that circle. It's really easy to do, but it looks so effective, particularly with the frame dies. It also looks fab if you put the cogs behind as well. So I'm just working my way around. Oops. Don't be naughty. I should have let the glue grab it for a little bit longer. That's my fault, nobody else's. Still, you're getting the idea. And it completely transforms the look of these framed grey board sheets. Love it. I love it when a product does more than one thing. Oh, I missed one. And these chalk paints, just the list of what you can do with them just goes on and on and on. Missed one. So we've now don't waste that, save that. Yeah, Lozzie's just said that the inner part of the grey board, you could actually use that as a template. Yeah, absolutely. How fabulous does that look now? Isn't that just beautiful? And so easy to do. I'm going to pop the lid on that. And we'll start doing some layering. Let's see how this is doing. Oops. Oh, that was my back. If you heard a creak, it was my back. Oh, that is so pretty. That is so pretty, but it's not dry yet. So I'm going to leave that a little bit longer. It needs longer to dry. Which is fine, because we've got plenty of other things to do. So let's back to the card, back to the layers. So I'm going to pop this one on. So that is now completely dry, look. So we're going to pop that one on with glue. I was going to do some background stamping on top of the watercolour background, but I'm not, because I think there's enough going on now. I was going to do some of the vintage paraphernalia postmark paraphernalia, sorry, in the background. So this is just a teeny tiny card. Teeny tiny. It does actually, Sue. Sue's saying it looks a bit like a birdhouse. It does. It does. So this is a teeny tiny 23 by something card. Oh yeah, 23 by 14. Put the lid on your glue, Phil. Thanks, Annette. And this is going on foam tape. Let's get this layer done. So this is different foam tape. Remember I told you on Saturday I can't tear this one, so I've got to cut it, which just frustrates me. So let's get this onto the card. And then this piece now is perfectly dry, this tatty ticket. So I'm going to stamp the sentiment onto there. I'm not doing too bad, we're only at 1 hour and 6. So if you're bored, apologies, but we've probably got about half an hour to go. So I'm going to do this sideways on. Remember, you're only going to see the outer edge of this. So let's get this. No, that's not right. That will never do. That will never do. I'm standing up to do this. If you've got my hair in the shot, I'll apologise now, because I've been twirling it. My hair, obviously. So we've now got the base of the card sorted. We'll stamp the sentiment while we're waiting. Oops. So the longer I can leave this piece of card, the better. I'm just going to pop something on it to weigh it down a bit. Because I did saturate that card. Right, so we're going to stamp one of the sentiments onto the paint, which I just think is a fabulous benefit, because you can't do it on all paint surfaces. So let's just see what fits. Does Best Wishes fit? Best Wishes is too big, so I'll go to the mini ones. And I'm using the Tray Chic sentiments. There are some links in the description. There are some links in the description to some of the stuff that I'm using that is available tonight. But the Tray Chic ones, if you remember, the circle mandala sentiment frames, the sentiments are smaller. So I use one of those. And I want it on this side. So let's have a look what fits. Shall we just go with Happy Birthday? Yeah. So we'll just go with Happy Birthday. Could be anything, whatever you want. And I am going to stamp using VersaFine. So you could use your VersaFine Clairs, you could use your oxides. Just remember, oxides won't be as strong as VersaFines. So I'm just going to stamp it towards this side. I'm just bringing it closer to me because I don't want to stick my head in the shot. There we go. And there's a reason why I've stamped it on the left, and you'll see that when I get to the assembly part. And I'm going to bring that in and show you, because this is really important for me as a card maker. There's no point giving me mediums that I can't stamp on top of. So I'm just going to bring that in and show you lot, ignoring the little bit of glitter. But that is just as perfect as if we'd have stamped it onto a piece of cardstock. And for me, that is really, really important. So you're going to be able to stamp all your background stamps onto these and so on and so forth. Love it. Love, love, love. Put that back, Phil. I might do a different version of this as one of my demos on telly. Can you imagine the face if I say it'll take me 2 hours to do this card? Oh, you'd think they'd be used to it by now, wouldn't you? That is not quite dry, it's almost dry. So I'm going to leave it a little bit longer. Look how soft though it goes. That's considerably softer than when I first put it on. Leave it to dry and we'll shape the flowers. So I'll bring the flowers in. And I'll just quickly shape the flowers. Oh, I forgot the clock. I'll do that in a minute. I'll do that in a second. Because I do need that as part of the card. So, another thing that's important to me, as you know, is flowers on my card. No point giving me paints if I can't shape my flowers. Because that's my thing. So I'm literally just going to quickly shape these flowers, and I know that I've got some that are separate and some that are together. But if I just show you this once I've stuck it together, the paint doesn't crack, which is just amazing. It almost looks like a little marigold. No. The paint doesn't crack, look, isn't that fabulous? So let's just get these shaped up. I'll do this really quickly. So some of these are being left as individuals and some are being put together as pairs. And I am keeping the colours together. So rather than doing a mix of the two colours, I'm keeping them the same. I just think it's more visual, it's more striking on this card. So separate, separate, together. Separate, separate, together. We're missing the Emmerdale omnibus as well, not omnibus, the double episode. That's the problem with Thursday nights. We should be back to normal next week, and I was talking to Bev earlier and I was saying to Bev, I think next week I'm going to start going back to streaming on one place rather than two places. I'm going to trial it next week just to see if it's easier for people. So Tuesday evenings will now be YouTube and Saturday afternoons will be Facebook. Obviously excluding this Saturday because I'm not here. So that is all the... That's all the, what do you call it? Coral flowers. Do the same with the Minty Fresh. I feel I could have called that aqua, but it is a minty colour, this, when you see it in real life. Aren't they just absolutely beautiful together? I knew you would, Di. I knew you would like these. What flowers are you using? I'm using the Shabby Daisies. So Caroli's asking me which flowers I'm using. This is the Shabby Daisies, and these are the star flowers, Shabby Star flowers. I love them together. That's the only reason. So this is a double flower. I love the daisies with the star flowers. I think they look really classy together. And I do know that the stock of the shabby flowers is really low, and I'm not restocking because I'm working on other stuff. Now, would you Adam and Eve it? There we go. By the time I've done these, we'll be ready to assemble. So together, 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 separate, separate, and separate. So we're almost done. So one of the things that I was conscious of when we were choosing the colours for these new paints is to give you a good mix. So you've got the really pastel ones, and then you've got the warmer colours, so kind of your mid-tones, and then you've got the rich colours. So for example, the postbox red, it's not postbox red, the roses are red, will be fabulous for your Christmas projects. And also because it has the olive green, obviously olive, in there as well, that's a really good one for your Christmas projects. And if I get time, I'm going to do a Christmas mixed media canvas and show you how all this works together. That's if I get time, because I am doing about 500 things. And I might be exaggerating a bit, but 500 just sounded like a good number. I hope you can watch on Saturday. I don't usually do Saturday evenings on TV. I've slipped up there because, especially in autumn when Strictly and everything's on. So please make sure you tune into the shows on at 5 and 8 on Saturday. Otherwise, it'll just be me and Paula talking to ourselves. Hi, Helen. Not to worry, darling. You'll be able to catch up. Yeah, you'll be able to watch it from the beginning. I'm not surprised you're still going. I know. How long have I been? That's not bad, actually. 1 hour 17. That's not bad for me. I'll put the gems in here. I wonder if there you go. Ooh. Oh. What do you think? That's the new colour, look. That's the new amber. Do you think it goes? Or am I just making too many colours? I've still got them, Di. Do you think they go? First person to tell me will make the decision for me. This is the new amber gems. Yeah, people are saying, no, I'm not. I've changed my mind. I've changed my mind. We're going for clear. We're going for the diamond. So I'm just going to pop the gems in, and then we'll get the background stuck together. And do you know what makes me laugh? You know, when I'm prepping for these, I always think I've prepped too much and that I'll be done too quickly. And you'd think after all these years of doing this that I would know that whatever time I think it's going to take me, I should times it by 2. Well, you're all saying, yeah. Yes on the coral, no on the mint. I like the new amber colour. Why, Julia? Why what? I can't have 2 different tones of gems. It will play with my mind. So we're having clear. I can't have 2 different colours of gems. My OCD won't permit it. Yeah, Julia's saying why ask when I'm always going to change my mind. It's true. It's true. I've always been good at rhetorical questions. Just ask anybody that's ever worked with me. Let me just flick over to everybody on YouTube so I'm not ignoring you all. Clear does accent the colours, you're absolutely right. Catherine's saying the clear accents the colours better, and I completely agree. I shouldn't have asked the question. Yeah, new gems are on the website. They are available now. There is a link in the description for the live tonight to the new gems. There are 3 new colours. They won't be on TV. I'm not putting gems on TV anymore. I'm keeping them just for us. And there are 3 new colours. So you have emerald, amber and ruby. Ruby is the deep red. It's absolutely beautiful. I don't know why I'm not using my pickup tool. How pretty these flowers look in the chalky finish. I wish you could see the finish on these flowers, because it's not like regular cardstock. You can tell it's not just plain cardstock. You've got some texture from the paint in there, and they just look really, really classy. No tap for Sentimentally Yours, thank you very much. We'll leave that to other people. Oh dear. You can tell I've not been fed. My behaviour gets worse the hungrier I get. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh dear. Do I think it's good as well that these gems will stick to a chalky painted furniture? I think it's the quality of this paint. I can't tell you. I can't wait until you get these home, because not only have I used it on cardstock, we've used it on grey board, we've used it to create a watery background. You're going to be able to use it direct onto your canvases if you like that kind of thing. And I am going to paint that clock in a second. So that's the flowers done. Told you it wouldn't take me long. So we're going to paint the clock in the Minty Fresh, and we're going to accent it with the Pacific Coral. So I'm using a flat brush. You could use your stipple brush, but it's literally just because I've chucked mine in the water, so I'm just going for a clean brush, and I'm going straight into this air dry clay mould. And I've got to do the edges on this because you will see the edges. So I've gone in quite heavy with the paint, simply because I'm going to wipe some of this off. So we've now got a Minty Fresh clock, and a Minty Fresh finger. But I'm going to wipe off the top. Let me get a clean bit. Yeah, that'll do. I'm going to wipe off the top of this with a piece of kitchen roll. Oh, look at that. That is fabulous. I would normally do it with a wet piece. Oh, that just looks lovely. With a wet piece, but because I've used such a lot of paint, I don't need to. So we've now got a two-tone clock. And then I'm going to take my finger, so like you would do with a gilding wax. So you could do this with a gilding wax or a metallic paint. You've seen me do it with metallic paints. But I'm just going to dip my finger. And I'm just going to take off the excess. I don't want too much. And I'm just going to rub some of the coral onto the high parts. These colours remind me of summertime. Oops, that was too much in there, but it doesn't matter. It all adds to the effect. So I've now created our lovely little two-tone air dry. Oops. And feed me, somebody feed me, somebody stop me. I took that bit underneath so you don't see it. Right, I'm going to be professional now, honestly. Denise is just saying, be careful how you say that, absolutely. So I'll just let that dry now, and again that will be drying in a couple of minutes. So let me clean my hands. And see how dry this is. So this is almost dry. Almost dry. So I'm going to see if I can get away with that. And I am going to put it on flat. So let's just show you that now it's done. And I love the fact that it's kept the colours true. So I'm just going to pop this on with glue just because I want it to be flat. And we will now start the assembly. So all these lovely components that I've had such a good time creating are now going to make this fabulous project. And I'm going to have that bit at the top. So I'm going to pop that straight on. That just looks fabulous. How else would we be able to create the layer in the background to completely complement the foreground? You just wouldn't be able to do it, would you? Because you can't get cardstock that looks like that. So I'm just going to sit that underneath. I'll sit it under these dies for a second, just so I can weigh it down a bit. I've got stuff everywhere. Just until the glue sets. Oh, my chair's stuck. So just until the glue sets for a second, and then we'll start putting everything together. Posted links in the group of what Mr. M has used tonight, except the new ones, as he won't be able to. Yeah, he won't be able to get them till Saturday. Someone send a food delivery to Phill. Amazing. You can see the colour scheme, look, it's just beautiful. And you could do that in any combination of these paints. So, I mean, I love the chocolate. Where's the paints? Just while I let that piece of card settle, let me just show you the... So that is Dreamy Chocolate. And if I show you Dreamy Chocolate with Minty Fresh, look how beautiful these two colours are together. And Minty Chocolate dries dark, Dreamy Chocolate dries darker. They're a bit of a mouthful, these colour names. I'm on with Paola at the weekend. I can't wait for her to start telling you what their names are. Right, let's get cracking. So I'm going to put all my bits on first. I already know the layout I'm using for this because I did it earlier. So I'm going to snip some of these off. So you're only going to see the top part of this, so I'm going to snip that off. Because I don't want to waste any of it. So I'm going to pop the border on first, and all you need to stick these grey boards on is PVA glue. That's all you need. I am going to use glue gel obviously in a minute because this card's going to be about 3 inch deep. So I'm going to pop that. No, I'll pop it down here actually. I'm just going to pop that on, hold it for a second. Well, I don't actually need to, it's already grabbed. And I'm going to take one of these little flourishes off. Yeah, I only need one. No, I might just leave them on. No, take one off. So I can now use that on another part or another card or whatever. Don't waste any of it. And the only reason I've snipped it off is because you're not going to see it. You're not going to see this section. So effectively, I've made the border look like it's longer than it is. This frame is going on glue gel. See, that's almost dry now. The only bit that's not is the deep part of the mould. Yes. Here we go. This is dried in the end, as usual. Does anybody know what's on at 9 o'clock, just in case I'm still here? I won't be, I promise you. We've only got about 15 minutes to go, everybody. So I'm going to raise up the frame just a little bit, and I'm not worrying too much about the glue gel being seen because it's going to have Diamond Dazzle in it when we're finished. So basically on this card I've used everything that's new. We've used the paints, I've used the grey board, I've used the gritty texture medium. Just take some of that off. That's my biggest bugbear. And then we've used things that you've already got as well. So that can go up here. And I quite like when the trellis is raised from the card because you see the shadows. So you can see the dimension. And then this clock is going to go here. And we are now at the exciting part. So that bit there where I got the extra colour is going to get covered up. Aren't the colours fabulous? They're like holiday colours. And now my favourite part, hopefully a programme on how to save money to buy craft stuff. This is my favourite part, putting it all together. And it shows you how worthwhile spending the time creating your embellishments, because you can't buy things like this. You can't buy embellishments that match. You certainly can't buy embellishments that look like this. So we've got all that lovely dimension. They look like old keys, but in pretty colours. So if you don't like all that rusty rusty effect. I mean, I do, but if you don't, you can now recreate it and make it look pretty. So the sentiment is going there. So I'll pop that on next, so I know where I'm going. And I know I need to be quite high with the glue gel there. So this is all a bit of a balancing game. So I've literally only used the inner part of the tatty ticket there, and it's going to go just there, just off the edge, and then the flowers are going on. So let's get the exciting part started. So this bit here, look, I could use it there if I wanted to. I'm not. I'm going to save that. We'll get the flowers done. You'll notice as well, little tip for you, because I've spent all that time colouring everything and adding the colour using the paint. I've only used smaller flowers. I've not used any of the larger ones, and that's a good tip for you. If you've got lots of embellishments going on, stick to smaller flowers, and then they look like accents rather than taking over the card, which is what I usually do. So here we go. Here's where the magic happens. Oops. And sticking to a two colour theme obviously helps. So I've got a rough idea of where I wanted everything when I first started. Tell me what I'm looking for. I'm just going to get a drink. So the keys need to go on. The keys need to go on here. And I'm not putting twine on the keys. I am going to glue them on. Let's just pop the keys on. Oh, actually, no. You know what? I am going to put twine on. Why not? It's not like I haven't got any. So blue first. I wasn't going to put these on twine. I was literally just going to stick them on, but it's nice to have the danglers. Who doesn't love a dangler? And the keys are going just here, just to the side of the border. Oops, I nearly pulled that one off. Delirious. Think the twine adds something to it. Yeah, it does. It's just another texture. And it gives the keys movement as well. Pop all this glue gel on. There's singles that are going there. So I'm not covering everything. We are almost there. The treble clef I might have to put on tomorrow because it's going there, but I want it to sit on top of the flowers. So the flowers will need to dry before I can put the treble clef on top. And then I've just got the foliage to tuck in. We're almost there. I don't know why I start at the bottom when I should do it at the top. I'm going to have to try and develop a glue gel that's sticky but not sticky. If anybody knows of a glue gel that's sticky but not sticky, let me know. And we'll do a quick recap and I'll show you the boards again at the end, just so you can see the colours. And then I'm going to get my dinner and watch whatever's on the telly. Right, here we go. So almost done. I think that can go up there. So this is why when I stamped the sentiment, I stamped it to the left side. To the left side of that tatty ticket. So in the morning when this is dried, the treble clef is going to be sat on top of the flowers there, but I can't do it while the glue gel's still wet. So this one can go just there. And then we've got the foliage to just tuck in. So the foliage is the delicate fronds, I think, and I've just used the three little leaves from the end and just snip them down to make them smaller. I pop them into a point just so that I can tuck them into the little areas on the card. So if you've got little flowers on, you need small foliage so it doesn't look bizarre. And I don't want to cover too much of the frame up, but I do want it tucked in various parts. And little tip for you, if you work the way I do, so I've got one up there, so I'm going to have one down here. And now I know that those two bits are in. I don't know whether I actually need these. I'll put one more in. It just balances them. Let's just have one more here. And I think when you see this next, let me just have a look. So the only thing that's missing from this Let's see if we need that. No, I'm not putting that on. We don't need it. Here's some Diamond Dazzle. This might be set enough for me to put the treble clef on. I'll have a look in a minute. So we've just got to Diamond Dazzle around the outer edge. So on the white layer, I'm not putting the glue over the chalk paint because it's water based. It might activate the colours and I don't want that, so I'm avoiding it. If you didn't want that, I'll show you a little trick to get around that, because I want to put some glitter on the edge of that tatty ticket. I'm going to shove some Diamond Dazzle all in there so that it catches on the glue gel that's stuck underneath. You know, it's one of my pet hates. I can't bear to see glue gel. If you're going to see it, make it a feature. And that little bit of glitter just brings the whole thing forward and makes the colours really pop. That's really pretty. But I do want some glitter on the edge of that ticket. So rather than using my white glue, which is what I would normally use, I'll use glue gel, because glue gel doesn't have any water content. So I'll just put a little bit along the edge. That will do nicely. Oh, that's just so pretty. So 2 more jobs to do and then we are done. And you know what I'm going to do now? We're having some random gems. Just a couple of random gems. Nearly done. This is my favourite part, putting it all together. And then all I've got to do in the morning, I'm going to see if I can do it now, because I know it'll get to the morning and I'll start something new. So I'm going to see if I can do it now. I want this treble clef sitting on top of the flowers there. So let's see if I can get away with it. So where do I need the glue gel? I need it, yeah, around the middle. Trust me, it will be set in the morning, so it won't fall off once it's set. This is why I prefer glue gel as opposed to I'm just going to get away with that. Told you it would be 3-inch deep. It's not actually 3 inches deep, this card. It's a little bit less. So let's bring that in and show you. And we are done. Quite simple for me, really. The fun is in the obviously the assembly, because that's my favourite part. And I might utilise some of this. I might utilise some more of this down here. In fact, I am. Somebody stop me, somebody feed me. But yeah, I think that's fine. It just ties it together. There might be a bit more on next time you see it. So let's just show you this card up close and personal. And then I'll do a quick recap. So that's how... It's not a bad look. So we've got the keys that are swinging, because we do like a swinger. The two colours that I've used are the Pacific Coral and Minty Fresh, wherever I've put it. Can't find it. So we'll start from the top. I've used all the new products tonight. So we've got Minty Fresh and Pacific Coral as a colour scheme. I've used one of the grey boards that's got the oval and the square frame. I've used the tatty tickets to stamp the sentiments on, which is exactly what I wanted them for, because they just give you that lovely edge. Even got the glitter on there, look. Treble clef grey board, Finnabair pocket watches mould, coloured with the same paints. There might be a couple more flowers on this when you see it tomorrow, because my latest craze is putting a flower on a flower, but I'll show you that when I do my live shows. So yes, it's a big card. It's not OTT really for me, apart from maybe the treble clef. We've left plenty of open space here. I don't know whether you can... Oh, you can. Can you see that that's chalky? I don't know whether you can. But this is not like using the watercolour blending brush pens. This actually does give you a soft chalky finish when it dries. So there you go. So I'll do a quick flash of the paints and that again. And show you everything that's new. And then you can all go and catch up. Colours are fab, aren't they? You could do this with absolutely any colour. So those two would be nice. These two would be nice. These two would be nice. You can go on forever and a day. So I'll show you the new colours on the palettes, on the display boards, because it's easy for you to see what the names are. So I'll just pop that to one side. That's not a little card, it is a biggish card. So this is the rich hues. So the rich, so on if you're buying from the website, you can absolutely buy these as a full set on Saturday. They're not actually available until Saturday, but you can buy them as the complete set, or you can buy them individually on my website on Saturday. Discounts won't be kicked in until 9 p.m. on Saturday night, because I'm not allowed to do any discounts and whilst I'm live on air. So as soon as we come off air, I come off air at 9 o'clock, the discounts will be on. So in the rich hues, you've got, look at this beautiful blue. So you've got Oxford blues, roses are red, dreamy chocolate, obviously olive, and perfectly pumpkin. And I think that is a fabulous set. They all are. And then this one here is the warm hues, which is what I've used tonight for this card. I use Pacific Coral and Minty Fresh. Minty Fresh is a little bit aquafied, but it is more green. African Violet, which is a stunning colour. Custard Slice and Ocean Teal. And then the delicate hues are the softer colours. So you've got Summer Skies, Soft Pistachio, Gentle Peach, which I did just for Jean. Rose Tinted and Pretty Periwinkle, which is a beautiful, let me just show you these two together. Look at these two lilac colours together. Aren't they stunning? So they are the 15 new chalk paint colours. I absolutely love the chalky finish. If I could only ever craft with one finish of paints again for the rest of my life, it would be chalky without a shadow of a doubt. And I'm just going to try and show you the grey board again, because the grey board makes all the difference. Remember as well, you can stencil through, you can use the chalk paints through stencils, stipple through. So you've got this one, which is the one that I've used tonight. So you've got frames, you've got the border, you've got hearts. I haven't wasted any space whatsoever. You've got this one here that keeps falling out, which is the frame with the butterflies and the little scrolly borders. That's where the treble clef is from. I am just going to warn you, because I know what's going to happen. This one here, look, I've made it a little bit too small, I think. Up to now, I've only managed to get one out without tearing it, but it's okay. You're going to paint over it, so you won't notice. And then you've got hearts in there. Oops, you've got the tatty tickets, which is what I used on there. So tatty tickets, can't even say that. If I can't say it, imagine what Paola's going to be like at the weekend. So tatty tickets is what I've used to stamp my sentiment on. I just know I'm going to say it. I just know I'm going to say it. Oh my word. Then you've got the industrial one with the cogs, the grey board, the lovely borders, and I love this one. So there are some new additions in there, and that one on there, look, is what I use. The circle. I use the circle there, look, with the frame to make my sentiment section on there. Then you've got the clocks with the fleur-de-lis and the extra hands. And then you've got the frame, the layering frames, which really are designed for you to pop your sentiments on and give you a frame around them as well. So that is the... Oh, look, so some of the delicate bits are falling straight out. Oops, I've just squashed that. Never mind. And then last but not least is the gritty texture medium. So the gritty texture medium is what gave us all that fabulous texture. I'm just going to bring that clock in that I did at the beginning of the hour. Oops, without dropping it. So this is the clock that I used the gritty paste on at the beginning of the hour before I started doing anything, to show you how to do it. This is now completely dry, and you can either leave it as it is, or you can paint over it, which is exactly what I did with that. So it's something a little bit different for you. It gives you a fabulous texture. It crosses that bridge between being a little bit scared of paints and what have you, because chalk paints are obviously very, very pretty. So don't forget to tune in for my shows on Saturday at 5 p.m. and 8 p.m. on Create and Craft. Julia is doing a Facebook Live on Saturday morning, Facebook Live and YouTube Live on Saturday morning at 11 a.m. Remember, if you haven't already, please subscribe to my YouTube channel, because I am going to be using it more and more. And I'm doing some videos on Monday just for YouTube. So search on YouTube for Crafting with Phill Martin and Sentimentally Yours. The Facebook group is also called Crafting with Phill Martin and Sentimentally Yours. And if you ask to join my Facebook group, you'll see all the inspiration from all the fabulous crafters that are in there, as well as myself and my design team. And you'll also get some extras in there, shall we say. I think that's it. Have I forgot anything? Yeah, please like and follow Sentimentally Yours on Facebook, because that's me. So you can find... I'm going to click all these buttons now. Sentimentally Yours. There you go. You can find me on Twitter, which is Phill M. Martin. Phill M. Martin on Twitter. And I'm also Phill M. Martin on Instagram. So thank you everybody. I hope you've enjoyed that and learned something. I can't tell you how much I love these paints, honestly, and I'm not just saying it. It doesn't matter to me, but I absolutely love these paints. So just treat yourself to, even if it's just a set, to have a go. So thank you everybody. I'm now off to get something to eat and get a drink. So thank you very much. I shall see you on your telly box on Saturday at 5 p.m. and 8 p.m. So thanks.